Hey, special educators. Welcome to Teach Taskbox Inspire, the podcast dedicated to making your job as a special education teacher easier by making your instruction more fun for you and your students. Inside each episode, you'll learn how to get the most use out of your task boxes in the classroom. I'm your host, Lisa Holiday from Chalkboard Superhero, a veteran special education teacher passionate about empowering you with purposeful teaching strategies, helpful tips and tricks, and other classroom management tools that will help you thrive in your role. Let's get started with today's episode. Hey there, special education teachers, and welcome back to another episode of Teach Taskbox Inspire. I'm your host, Lisa Holiday, and I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're a first-year teacher or a seasoned educator, having clear and consistent classroom procedures is really one of the best ways to set yourselves up for success. If you've ever felt like you're constantly reminding students of the same things over and over and over again, or if transitions and daily routines just feel so chaotic, this episode is for you. So we're stuck in the middle of another school year, and many educators in our community are looking for ways to kind of improve that classroom management. So the good news is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So today I'm going to share with you some tried and true classroom procedures that will help minimize disruptions, reinforce those expectations, and make your classroom run like a well-oiled machine. I am going to shoot these off super fast because I like to have quick episodes. All right, so let's talk about setting the tone, establishing routines that work. Number 1, hand signals. Are you tired of students interrupting you with nonstop questions? Hand signals allow students to communicate their needs without disrupting the lesson. And I like to have a poster in the room that has these out as a visual aid. So 1 finger means bathroom, 2 fingers says I need a tissue, 3 fingers mean I need a pencil. The key to making them work, consistency and practice. So if you post that visual chart and reviewing those signals during the school year or even after a long break, if a student forgets, you can simply point to the chart that's on the board instead of stopping your lesson and figuring out what they need. All right, number 2. Attention getters. If you find yourself repeating directions multiple times a day, or just to get students to listen, call and response phrases can really make that easy. And also having these posters up so the class remembers what the heck they're supposed to say. So maybe the teacher says, class, class, and the students say, yes, yes. Or say the student says, or the teacher says, hocus pocus, and the students say, everybody focus. A new one I like to throw in there is, say the teacher says skibbity and the students will say toilet. It's a really fun way for like 4th, 5th, 6th graders to get, a laugh and also to get their attention. So you want to choose a couple that's going to work for your style, introduce them early, and use them consistently. Number 3, arrival routine. Mornings really set the tone for the day, so having a clear arrival routine really helps them transition into learning mode. So number 1, kind of have students unpack their material and place them in a designated space. You might want to have like a bell ringer or a question of the day to kind of encourage that interaction. And so when students know what to do as soon as they walk in, you avoid that morning chaos. Number 4, on the flip side, a dismissal routine. The last few minutes of the day can be hectic. Having this dismissal checklist ensures that the students leave prepared. So making a list near their cubbies or lockers really helps that. A homework folder packed, lunchbox and water bottle packed. The desk area is cleaned. So when students follow this routine, it becomes quieter and more organized. All right, let's keep moving. Keeping things running smoothly. Number 5, lining up strategies. Lining up should not be noisy, chaotic, pushing your friends instead of yelling over the crowd. Try playing a short song, or calling students by category, or using a silent countdown, or number the students and have them line up by numbers. Number 6, voice level expectation. This needs to be on a poster and posted in the room. So you need to be using this as a visual reminder to practice appropriate noise levels. So, 0 is absolutely silence that you can be used for testing or listening. Number 4 is like a presentation voice. All right, number 7, bathroom routines and passes. This might seem minor, but without clear expectations, this can become a major problem. So you want to decide in advance, will students be using hand signals? Do they need a sign-out sheet? Do you need bathroom passes? And things of that nature. All right, number 8, transitions and timers. One of the biggest time wasters in a classroom, messy transitions. Try using visual timers. So they could be color-coded to show the time that's remaining, or it could be something that's on the smartboard. You might often use a sound cue, so using a doorbell in the classroom, or verbal countdowns. Maybe you have 30 seconds to clean up. So the goal is to make transitions predictable so students can move quickly and efficiently. And if this messes up in the middle of the year, start over, set the expectations again, and practice this. All right, let's keep moving to encouraging independence and organization. Number 9, recess procedures. Even recess routines need structure. So before heading outside, you want to teach students how to line up, when to stop playing and listening for instructions, and where they should line up when recess is all over. Number 10, task boxes and early finishing activities. So we all have students who finish their work early and say, okay, what do I do now? Use task boxes for this. That has puzzles or little activities or challenges to really help with students who have no idea what to do when they're all done with their work. Number 11, missing pencils, which is going to be the bane of my existence. So if you ever feel like your classroom is, eating their pencils, you want to try the strategy. So post a sign that says, it's been blank days since a pencil was lost. If students need to borrow one, they reset the account. This simple trick makes kids more accountable for keeping track of the pencils, and you might even want to make a game out of this. So maybe if they get to, 47 days or 50 days, they earn a prize. Number 12, classroom jobs. Giving students classroom responsibilities creates a sense of ownership. Some favorite jobs that I like are a botanist, where they water the class pets, a class announcer, where they share daily schedule updates, or the cleanup crew, which helps organize all the supplies. You want to rotate these jobs regularly so every student gets a chance to participate. All right, number 13. Exit tickets are a great way to wrap up a lesson and check for understanding. This is only going to need, maybe the last 5 minutes of the bell or your block that you're teaching. It could even be like, one thing I learned today is, or one question I still have is, or rate your understanding on a scale of 1 to 5. It could be as simple as that. All right. Those are all the ones that I have for today. I do plan on making another episode of a few more, but as you establish and practice these classroom procedures, make sure that you remember this one key thing. Consistency is key. The more clearly you teach and reinforce these expectations, the smoother your classroom will run. So, which of these strategies are you excited to try? Do you have your go-to classroom procedure that works wonders? I would love to hear about it. You can go ahead and connect with me on Instagram, or you can jump inside my email at lisa@chalkboardsuperhero.com and let me know. I would love to share some of the things that really work in your classroom. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and leave a review. It really helps other educators find the show. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Until next time, guys, bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Teach, Taskbox, Inspire. I hope you've gained some tips and motivation to fuel your week ahead. If you're ready to explore more strategies for empowering your students as independent learners, be sure to dive into my free training at chalkboardsuperhero.com/training. And don't keep all this knowledge to yourself. Share this episode with your special education teacher friends who could use some motivation and inspiration. One more thing before you go. If you're finding this podcast helpful and want to show support, head to Apple Podcasts and leave your rating and review. Until next time, keep teaching, taskboxing, and inspiring.